You need a win now. This win is to book one paid session by the end of the day. I'm going to give you a practical path that you can act on right now. To make that possible, the process is simple. One clear offer, an easy way to make a payment, a simple image delivery method, and a short list of people to contact. The water method is a same-day action plan for booking at least one client by going where the movement is already most likely. It works because it's simple. Water flows to the path of least resistance. That is the promise of the water method. Hey there, Lens Legends. Welcome to another episode of the Portrait Profit Show, where we focus on the business side of photography. I'm your host, Jim Landers, your guide on the business side. The Portrait Profit Show is brought to you by Digital Pro Lab and Landers Photography School. For Digital Pro Lab, Amanda and her fantastic, wonderful, amazing team are going to make you look like a hero to your clients. And the reason is because she hires fantastic people. And it makes a difference. You know it does. I recommend you reach out to Digital Pro Lab by going to their website, digitalprolab.com. Check them out. If you haven't already, you're going to be impressed. If you haven't tried them already, you're just going to fall in love. Go to digitalprolab.com. This show is also sponsored by Landers Photography School, which is my company. I teach both the photography side and the business side. On the photography side, we have about 70 different class options, although the website's only going to list a handful because, well, that's a lot. And on the business side, there's over 250. So, yeah, I'm not going to list all those because, man, are you going to be overwhelmed? So what I actually recommend is that you reach out to me and we'll talk about it ahead of time. So I find out what it is you're looking for, and I can recommend something that's ideal for you. Reach out to me via the show, Jim@portraitprofits.com. Jim@portraitprofits.com. Let's see. I think I have that here. Yeah. It's also the handout. So you reach out to me in the same exact way. All right. I want you to go to the comments section because throughout this show, I want you to ask questions. I want you to make comments. If you've got some things that you want to share, some things that you have tried, I want you to go to the comments section and share them. I also want you to enter in hashtag live, letting me know that you're watching right now live on either Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or YouTube. We're simulcast to several places. Enter in hashtag live. Now, if you're watching the replay, enter in hashtag replay. I also request that you share the Portrait Profit Show. That is how people find out about the show. That's how you found out about it. Somebody told you. So click that share button if you're on Facebook, or tag someone, clicking the @ symbol and then their name, letting them know that the Portrait Profit Show is on every Monday. You need movement now. You need something to happen now, not someday, not after your website is perfect, not after your price list is redesigned, not after you buy a new camera, not after your social media calendar is built, logos updated, brand colors are chosen, or whatever important thing you feel is necessary that you have to do. Drop everything and follow the simple steps that I'm going to give you today, and you're going to get a sale today. Many photographers are talented. They're talented enough to serve their clients well, really well. But they're spending too much time preparing around the edges of the business and not enough time creating real client conversations. Preparation matters, professionalism matters, systems matter, but there are days when the most important business skill is the ability to take clear professional action that leads directly to income. And that's what we're doing. The water method is a tool within your marketing system. You have a marketing system. If you don't, well, let's work on it together. But the water method is a tool within that marketing system that you pull out whenever it's necessary, whenever you need it. You use it when you need to create a real client conversation that can lead to one paid booking at the least by the end of the day, by going where movement is already most likely. Now, I'll explain that in just a little bit. A real client conversation is not a like, a view, a comment, or a compliment on some social media page. A real client conversation is a direct exchange with someone who may have a reason to hire you already, or maybe a reason to refer you or connect you with someone who does. That conversation may happen through text or email, a direct message, over the phone. It could happen in person. The format matters less than the intent. We are looking for movement towards a booking. Now, I want you to know what water stands for, and I'll put a little something on the screen so you can see that better. Oh, that's small. Let's make that bigger. There we go. The W of water stands for warm contacts. Warm contacts. Begin with people and opportunities that are closest to a booking. Now, we're going to go into each one of these in more detail. I'm just going to tell you what the acronym WATER stands for. So W is warm contacts. The A is the actual offer. Make one clear paid offer that is easy to understand. The T of water is thoughtful message. Send a short, relevant message that connects the offer to the person. That's the T. The E of water is easy next step. Make booking simple with a clear time, payment method, and confirmation. The R of water is rapid follow-up. Keep the opportunity moving while it is still warm. And here's the principle behind it. Water follows the path of least resistance. That is how I want you to think about this same day marketing technique. When you need movement today, begin where movement is most likely, your warm leads. That's friends, family, past clients, recent inquiries, referral partners, people who have commented on your work, business owners who already know you. If you have well, families that are going that you have photographed before. When a photographer needs to get a sale as soon as possible, too often they're looking at a cold audience, such as maybe I should do some paid ads or some social media posting in some new places, or maybe some places where there are people who have no existing connection to them. Those, well, they're good places to market your work, but they are often the hardest path when the goal is speed. Cold marketing has a place in your business. It does. Just not when you're trying to get one sale today as soon as possible. The water method is a 5-step, same day business action plan for finding the easiest path to a sale. It works because each step removes friction. You are not asking a cold audience to discover you, understand you, trust you, and book you before the day is over. No. You're starting where the relationship, the need, or the opportunity is already closer. To begin, you need a clear offer, a way to take a payment. a way to deliver images, and a short list of people that you're going to contact. Now, I created a water method action sheet to go with this episode. I'll show you what that looks like there on the screen. Oh, I'll make that a little bit bigger. There we go. And I'm going to send that to you. All you need to do is send me an email, jim@portraitprofits.com, and I will send you today's handout and the water method action sheet. I'm going to go into detail on what that's all about. You're going to use, though, this water method action sheet in a way that's going to cause you to know what is supposed to happen next and make it easy for you. But right now, as you're listening, I want you to just imagine what it is. You could do a screenshot of this, but you may as well just send me an email, jim@portraitprofits.com, and ask for it. It's going to help you shape the offer, list your warm contacts, decide how payment's going to be handled, and prepare your outreach. Now, let's focus on one goal. One paid session today. That is the first chapter for today's lesson. Your business needs a sale today. That knowledge narrows what you need to do next. That's great. When urgency is pressing on you, your mind may reach for anything that you feel might create activity quickly. Maybe that's to offer a discount or post in a new group, hoping the right person sees it and responds. Some of those actions may work at times. For the water method, they are usually not the first move because the goal is not broad attention. The goal is one paid session today. A paid session means the client understands the offer, agrees to it, and pays to reserve the time. Meaning, yeah, you get paid today. This message should move towards a decision. The decision should move towards a payment. That is why the offer must be simple enough to understand quickly, and the next step must be easy enough to take without any confusion. The water method focuses your attention on the shortest professional path to a paid session. So you're starting with people who are already closer to a yes. You're giving them one clear offer. You're making that step very simple. And then you're following up while the opportunity is still warm. That's the win for today. So let's go into each part of this, starting with the W of water, warm contacts. A warm contact is when someone who may already know you, trust you, have hired you before, has asked about your work or referred someone to you, commented on your photography, or has shown some connection to the kind of portraits that you create. Now, we're keeping in mind that the goal is speed. Compared to a cold audience that may need time to notice you, understand you, trust you, and decide whether your offer matters to them, a warm contact is already further along in that process. That does not mean they absolutely will book. It means the distance between your message and a possible sale is shorter. Your warm list may include past clients, recent inquiries, friends, family, neighbors, business contacts, referral partners, people that have interacted with your work. Right now, I want you to create a list of 10 warm contacts or warm opportunities. Maybe you want to do more. Maybe it's difficult to come up with 10. Come up with 10 family and friends if you don't have anyone who is a warm lead. But 10's enough to begin. Do not turn this into a database project. Do not spend the day organizing every name you know. Don't get distracted here. Write down 10 people or opportunities where a message would make sense today. Not the top 10, a quick 10. The list does not need to be perfect, just usable. Now, I'm going to want you to go through this entire session with me today. You might decide to change a name on the list. That's fine. But once you have added 10 people to that list, the next step is A, the water, the actual offer. So let's move to chapter 3. By the way, if you're resonating with this, if you want a quick win, if you really need a sale today, you let me know in the comments. You could just use the word yes to let me know, but I want to see some interaction in the comments. And if you haven't already, enter in hashtag live, letting me know that you're watching live. All right. Chapter 3. An actual offer is the exact portrait opportunity that you are presenting. It tells the person what kind of portrait session you're offering, what they receive, what it costs, and how they can reserve it. You're going to choose one portrait offer. The offer should already be shaped before you begin reaching out, but I don't expect you to have it already shaped at this moment, but you will soon. The goal is one paid session today. So the offer needs to be easy for you to implement, something you already know, easy for clients to understand, easy to book, and clear enough for you to complete every step quickly. Let's go over a few things that you need to consider, like session length. Now, this is one of the times when session length can be a useful boundary. Now, if you've listened to me over any period of time, you understand my philosophy for that professional custom portrait photographers are not in the business of selling time. I so often see this on websites, on posts, that people list the things that they're selling, and time is one of the things they list. That's not what a custom portrait photographer does. That's what a mini session photographer does. They sell periods of time. But a short session can help define the scope of a fast offer. So I want you to consider it for what we're doing today. So a 5 or 10 or 20-minute portrait session keeps the process clear and prevents the offer from turning into something larger. That's the planning of it. If someone wants something more, it's not like you're going to deny them that. But for this offer, you want it to be something specific and easy for you to sell. The value is not in the number of minutes. The value is in the finished portrait result and the simple path to receiving it. Something else to consider, the location or the background. Use one location or one background. If you've got access to a studio, it's just one choice there. If you are going to rent out a location, or if you're going to meet at some location, it could be outdoors, in the shade, near a window, inside or out. Actually, I like inside with window lighting. In some other place that has good natural light, or with a simple background that you already own. Use what you already have. Do not buy lights, modifiers, backdrops, software, or anything else for this offer. If those are the things you're thinking about, then you're not thinking about what the water method is all about. You don't buy anything for the water method. This is using the tools, the things you already have. All right. Next thing to consider is, what is it that they are going to get? I want you to keep the deliverable small, a handful of final images. More images usually means more culling, more editing, more delay, and more confusion potential. For this method to be effective, it must remain simple. Let's talk about the price. Start with the amount of money that this offer needs to create for you. You have an idea of how much money you need. If this may be something specific, you may have something that you want to purchase, a bill that you have to pay by first thing tomorrow. So you need to make that money today. You have an amount, you know how much you need. If you don't have that, then you're going to set that based on whatever your wants or needs are. So start with the amount of money that this offer needs to create, and then divide that by the number of sessions you're willing to offer. If you're going to do many sessions, one right after the other on a Saturday, and you know you have this much amount of time, well, then you can tell exactly how many sessions you have available based on the amount of time. So you divide that number of sessions by the amount of money that you need to create. That gives you a starting price. If that number feels too high, adjust the structure before you weaken the offer. More available sessions, maybe an additional date, a better deliverable, making it worth the amount that you need to make. The price needs to do what it always needs to do. It needs to support your time for editing, delivery, travel, if needed, taxes. It has to do the same things it always does. Now let's talk about how they're going to pay you. In some instances, people watching this show don't have a payment method set yet. They haven't started an account with Square or Stripe or some other way for you to be able to access credit cards. But you can do that pretty easily, even if you don't have those set up, because you can do them through different tools. So like PayPal, and I'll mention a few others. But your payment, how people pay, is part of the offer. Use payment methods you already have available and can confirm quickly. And more than one option is fine. But understand that payment is what reserves the time, not some promise. I'll pay you when I get there. No, your goal is to get paid today. So therefore, that's not one of the options. Now, while you're talking to someone and you feel the need to make an adjustment, okay, fine. But as far as creating the offer, it's not an option. I want you to have in your mindset is until a payment is received, the session isn't booked. It is the payment that causes it to go on your calendar. Now, for me, that's how it is anyway. But I know not everybody does it that way. Now, the offer can be stated simply. It could be something like, I am offering a simple portrait session for X amount of dollars. It includes whatever it includes, and payment reserves the time. Now, you're going to adjust this, tweak it to make it your own. Maybe you want to say the session is blank dollars and includes blank final images delivered by a specific date. Payment reserves the appointment. And I'll confirm your time as soon as it's received. You're going to have some words that you're going to be saying, or it may be that you're saying because you're calling on the phone, but it could be that you're doing this via some type of text. So it could be text with your phone. It could be a DM on social media. But bottom line is, a clear offer helps the client understand what's being offered, what it costs, what they receive, and how to book. It also helps you keep the session small enough to complete well. Again, all of this is on the handout. And you just have to reach out to me, Jim@portraitprofits.com, to get that. I do have I want everyone to have this, and it is effectively free. I do send a suggested donation with it. If you want to pay the suggested donation, do it. If you don't. My goal is to get this in your hands. So Jim@portraitprofits.com, you tell me that you want it. That's how I find out. Once the offer is clear, The next step in the T of water is the thoughtful message. So let's move this on to chapter 4, thoughtful message. This is the communication itself. It connects the offer to the person receiving it. It may be sent by text, email, direct message. It may also be spoken in a phone call, a voice message, an in person conversation. Choose the format that fits the relationship and communicate the offer clearly. I like to do it by phone. Pick up the phone. I call it smile and dial. Pick up the phone and call the 10 people on the list. I think that's the most effective. But different people see it differently. I want you to work. I want you to choose the method that you feel is going to be the best. And by the way, if it doesn't work, then you try a different method. There's a lot of ways to do this. Bottom line is the person should understand why you are reaching out, what you're offering, what it costs, what they receive, and how to reserve the session. How do they get on your calendar? Use a structure you can adapt. Of course, you will tweak it and make it your own, but you may say something along the lines of, I'm offering a simple portrait session, and you define what simple portrait session is. You don't actually say simple portrait session. You're telling them what it is. For X amount of dollars, it includes X number of final images, small. Payment reserves the time. For a past client, the message might sound like, hey, Sarah, I was thinking about the portraits we created for your family, and I realized the kids have probably changed quite a bit since then. I'm offering a quick portrait session this week for X amount of dollars. It includes X amount of final images delivered by a specific date. Your payment is what reserves the time. Would you like me to send the available times? Maybe you want to find some business headshots. So for a business contact, you might say, hi, Mark, I thought of you because updated portraits may be useful for your website. Now, make sure you say that in a way that doesn't make them think that their photographs currently on their website suck. So when you say because updated portraits may be useful for your website or your LinkedIn profile or your social media, make sure you're saying it in a way that doesn't offend them. That being said, I'm offering a quick and simple business portrait session this week for X amount of dollars. It includes X number of final images, 1 or 2 or 5, delivered by, fill in the date. Your payment reserves the appointment. Would you like to see my available times? Let's say it's a referral partner, someone who you refer business to, they refer business to you. How about you could say, hey, Lisa, I'm offering a simple portrait session this week for people who need updated portraits without a complicated process. If you know of someone who needs a headshot or a quick portrait, I'd be glad to take good care of them. I can send you a short message to pass along to them. The message should feel like a clear invitation. A thoughtful message gives the person enough information to respond without making them work hard at all. Makes it easy. It does not send them searching for the offer. It does not make them guess what the price is. It does not leave the next step unclear. Once the message is sent, the next step is E. In the word water, it's E, and that means easy next step. The thoughtful message creates interest. The easy next step turns that interest into a booking, meaning this is where you're going to receive some money. The client booking path is choose the session time, send the payment, receive the confirmation. Again, this is the client booking path. This is their point of view. Choose the session time, send a payment, receive a confirmation. If you already have a booking system, I want you to use that. If you don't, skip it for now. It's important to have one, but our goal today is speed. A clear message, an agreed time, and a payment received. That's enough to reserve the session. You could take it over the phone. Do everything over the phone. You're going to want to send the confirmation via email, though, or a text. Interest, not the same as booking. A person may like your idea, ask some questions, tell you that it sounds good, but the session time is confirmed when the payment is received. Use payment methods you already have and make sure you're confirming quickly. It is fine to have more than one option. In fact, offering a few choices makes it easier for the client to pay. So when someone is ready, this is the response. Great, I have this time or this time available. The session is X amount of dollars. The payment reserves your time. You can send it through PayPal, or maybe we could do Cash App or Zelle or Venmo, whatever it is that works for you. And I'll confirm your appointment as soon as it is received. Now, after the payment is received, you send the confirmation. And the confirmation could be something like, thank you, your session is confirmed for blank at this time. We will meet at, and you give that location. The session includes X number of final images delivered by a date. I'm looking forward to photographing you. By the way, I don't expect you to remember any of this stuff. That's why I have a handout for it. And all you have to do is reach out to me to ask for it, jim@portraitprofits.com. Now, that confirmation conveys that the time is protected. It clarifies the location. It repeats what's included and reminds the client when to expect delivery. The client chooses the time. Payment is received. The session is confirmed. Once the session is reserved, then we move to the next step in the water method, and that's the R, and that is rapid. I just hit delete instead of show. So I'm going to create that real quick. Give me just a second because I want you to see at least the title of it so you know which part I'm talking about. There we go. All right, chapter 6, rapid follow-up. So the R stands for rapid follow-up. Rapid follow-up means you keep the opportunity moving while the interest is still warm. If someone responds to your outreach, answer it as quickly as you possibly can. If they ask for available times, share the times or send those times. If they ask how to pay, tell them the payment options or send them the payment options. If they pay, confirm the session. If they do not respond, follow up as soon as possible. Follow up isn't pressure. I know, man, sometimes when we think of salesperson, we're thinking about the pressure or the problems or the feelings that we have. Follow up isn't pressure. It says you care. It's part of the guiding process. A follow up to someone who showed interest may sound something like, I'm glad, and then you state the specific offer or need sounds good to you. I have this and this dates available. The session is X amount of dollars and payment reserves the time. Would either of those times work for you? So that's one way you could do this. If you have a payment or a system set up where someone can sign themselves in, then you're using that. That is much easier. But I understand not everyone has that. And the goal here is speed. All the more reason why I think that getting on the phone is the number one way to do this, because you can answer those questions immediately. There is no need for follow-up. Now, if you have to leave a message and they call back, okay, there's follow-up there. But a follow-up to someone who did not respond might sound something like, I know you're busy. Just wanted to make sure that this didn't get buried. I'm offering a portrait session this week for X amount of dollars. And I thought of you because, and you tell them that reason, I'm happy to send you the information, the available times, if you're interested. And then once that session is booked, rapid follow-up continues through completion. So you're photographing the session as promised. You're delivering the agreed final images as promised. You're avoiding extra retouching or additional images unless there's a clear reason. The goal is to complete the session well, not expand it after it's been sold. Photographers do that often. Don't do that, especially for this quick method. Fast delivery helps the client feel the value while the experience is still fresh. It also creates the right moment to ask for a referral and a review. Yeah, you're going to ask this person who's doing business with you when they're working with you during the process, the client process, for a referral and for a review. Why are you going to do that? Because it often leads to more business. What I want for you when you use this method, the water method, is for it to act like a snowball rolling down a hill. Now, I know the majority of the people who watch this show are close to me. I'm in San Antonio, Texas. I don't know if all of you know that, but it doesn't snow here. Well, maybe once every decade. But you still understand the idea. I want that snowball to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I want it to grow. And the way that it grows is asking for referrals and reviews. So a referral ask may go something like this. I'm glad we were able to create these for you. If you know someone who needs updated portraits, I'd appreciate you sending my name their way, and I will take good care of them. Now, you're going to tweak this to make it your own and make it more action-oriented. I'm giving you a very general version of that. If I was your business coach, I would give you very specific words for your specific, the type of work that you do, all right? I would help you find them. A review ask may sound something like this. Thank you again for trusting me with your portraits. If you are happy with the experience, and you know that they are because you've been communicating with them, would you be willing to leave a short review? It helps others can feel confident about reaching out to me. Now, you're going to tell them what that means and how to do that, but that's the gist. I want you to write those messages, all the things that we've been talking about. I want you to write it before. After you've delivered is not the time to figure out what to say. One paid session can become more than one paid session when the follow-up is handled well. Complete the session, deliver what was promised, ask for a referral, and ask for a review. Then use what worked and do it again. How you guys feeling about this? Is this something that you can do? Can you make these phone calls? Can you send out these messages? I don't want it to be passive. If you need an email is passive. It's one way to do this. If you're going to email, I think maybe more than 10 is probably the way to go, because people don't check their email constantly all day. Well, maybe some do. But you might not get a response until tomorrow or the next day or not at all. So a phone call is the best way. Now, is everybody going to answer your call? No, but you're calling people you already know, so they should recognize the number. And isn't that why you don't answer, is when you don't recognize the number? If you know that person and you're available to speak at that moment, you answer the call. And it's quite possible they don't have a need. At that point, you ask them, do you know someone who may? How are you feeling about that? This is, done right, going to cause business to come your way today. And if you need help with it, I'm a photography business coach. I help people out with this kind of thing every day. Now, again, I want to remind you, just reach out to me, Jim at portraitprofits.com, and ask for the handout today, and it comes with a worksheet. Not all of them come with a worksheet. Last week's came with a worksheet. This week comes with a worksheet. Okay, sometimes they come with a worksheet, but a lot of times they don't. So this one does. But it helps you go through the process, and it makes it pretty darn easy. And it's general enough where it applies to what most people do. It's also specific enough for you to know where to tweak it to make it your own. So I'm going to close out this lesson. And I'm also going to tell you after I've done that what the upcoming shows are going to be about so that you put them on your calendar. So let's close out this one before I do that. Let's do that first. You have the path. Warm contacts. Actual offer. Thoughtful message. Easy next step. Rapid follow-up. That is the water method. The point is to create movement toward one paid session today. Start where the movement is already most likely. Write down 10 warm contacts or warm opportunities. Shape one offer that they can understand quickly. Not multiple offers, one offer. Reach out in the way that fits the relationship. For me, it's a phone call. Make the next step clear. Follow up while the opportunity is still warm. This is the tool to use when your business needs movement now. I need a sale now. One paid session can give you momentum. One completed session can lead to a referral, a review, another conversation, another opportunity. Write the list. Choose the offer and start that first conversation, and then start the next one. The win is to book one paid session today. As you know, the Portrait Profit Show is something that happens every single week. So I want you to make note of the upcoming. In 1 week from today, the show is, and I'll put this up on the screen. Actually, that's 2 weeks from today. Next week's show, I believe it will be a guest coming on, but I haven't confirmed the guest. So right now it's to be determined, but it is on August 10th. Now, on the second Monday of each month, we move the time to 6:30 in the evening. And that just allows us to be able to get a different audience, but it also allows the guest a better opportunity to be on the show, because noon on Monday is difficult for a lot of guests, where the evening is we found to be easier. And so the second Monday of each month, we usually bring on a guest, not always. Sometimes we bring on multiple guests. Sometimes it's just me talking. But on August 10th, it's at 6:30. Now, August 17th, and again, 2 weeks from today, that is the referral mistake that confuses clients. Referrals are a wonderful part of building a photography business, but they can also create confusion when someone else explains what you do incorrectly. We'll talk about the referral mistake that creates confused clients, and you'll learn how to protect the client experience, educate referral sources, and set healthy boundaries. And create simple referral guide so people can recommend you accurately and professionally. We'll also talk about some interesting situations where someone referred someone and accidentally gave the wrong information. Yeah, that's going to be fun. 2 weeks from today, August 17th at noon. And after that one is on August 24th. And this one is called Personal Photography Projects. A professional photography business is more sustainable and enjoyable when the creative interests of the photographer are part of the plan. We'll talk about personal photography projects as a practical way to keep your creative energy tank full. You're going to get ideas that you can adapt to your own season of life and business, so photography remains a source of interest, curiosity, and creative energy. We don't want to burn out. We want to have a full creative energy tank. This show is going to make sure that happens. So that is again on August 24th at noon. And to go through the end of August, the final one in August on August 31st is called Client Leadership Skills. Clients rarely come to us already knowing what to ask, and they certainly do not know how your process works unless they've worked with you before. And even if they have, they've got a million things going on in their life. They're going to need someone who leads them. That uncertainty is part of hiring a professional. In this episode, we're talking about client leadership skills, the mindset that helps you see professional guidance as part of the client experience. So clients feel understood. So they make better, clearer decisions, and they trust the process from the first conversation to whatever the final result may be. Put that on your calendar, August 31st at noon. All right. All of these lessons are free. It's funny. Every once in a while, actually relatively often, I'm looking at Facebook, I'm looking at Instagram, I'm looking at X, I'm looking at Reddit, I'm looking at just different places where photographers are posting things, and it is often, relatively speaking, that a photographer says, "I wish someone would just help me," or "I wish, as I was going through the beginning stages of my business, that someone would have helped me." That's what the Portrait Profit Show is for. We're on episode number 282. That's a lot of help. Please recommend the Portrait Profit Show to your friends, and do that by tagging them and by sharing the show. These are free. I don't charge anything for it. Let other people know that this exists. You know what, Lens Legends? Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Portrait Profit Show. Today's episode gave you the water method: warm contacts, actual offer, thoughtful message, easy next step, and rapid follow-up. Use it today. Write that list of 10. Choose the offer. Start the conversation. One paid session can create a lot of momentum. Momentum can lead to the next conversation, the next referral, the next review, the next opportunity. Thank you, Lens Legends, for your time and attention here today. And thank you for the hard work that you put into building your business every day, because that elevates our industry. I'll see you next Monday. For Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab, I'm Jim Landers, and this is the Portrait Profit Show. I look forward to watching you grow. You guys are fantastic, wonderful, amazing people. I really appreciate you. Bye for now.